It's pretty hard to believe that 2024 is at an end. It's been a year with a lot of highs and a few lows, but through it all there have been some really great cozy games to play this year. So in honor of the year coming to a close, I thought it'd be great to take a look back at my favorite cozy games from 2024. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Brock and I'm so glad you're here. I make chill videos about cozy and wholesome gaming, so if that interests you, which I assume it does since you clicked on this video, be sure to subscribe for lots more to come in 2025. Now without further ado, let's dive into my list. Coming in right at the end of the year, I Am Future scratched an itch that I had the entire year. I wanted a really good survival game, but with a lot of cozy qualities and charm. There are tons upon tons of survival games out there, but often with really intense mechanics or horror themes, and while I enjoy some of them, other times I want that genre, but minus a lot of the stress. Games are supposed to be relaxing, right? I followed I Am Future way back and had it in my library for a while, but I wasn't sure how much time I wanted to sink into an early access game, especially in the survival crafting genre, so I just sort of sat on it for basically a year. When it released, I actually didn't even know it was finally coming out. The wait was well worth it though. The result is a polished, sometimes goofy, compelling, and pretty charming game. It has such a good blend of coziness, but also the survival elements that I was after. You play as, well, I'm not sure, and neither are they. You wake up on the roof of a high-rise in the midst of a flooded city with no memory of who you are, what happened, or why you just woke up here. You soon meet a, well, we'll call them helpful person, sort of, who had their mind transferred into a refrigerator. Yeah, off to a pretty wild start from the onset. You'll gather resources, craft, go on expeditions, and slowly recover the memory of who you are, and all wrapped in a shockingly chill package given the contents. I loved my time with this game, and I was so happy to highlight it on the channel. I definitely recommend giving it a shot. Honestly, like really honestly, I'm so shocked that not only did I love this game, but I put it on my end of the year list. And I struggled with where to place it because number 4 feels like I'm kind of robbing it a little bit. Duck Detective is a narrative puzzle game in which you play as the titular duck detective who has been asked to solve a mystery involving a missing salami. What follows is a couple of hours of the most ridiculously silly, fun, over-the-top, and brilliantly voice-acted gameplay that I had the pleasure of experiencing this year. I honestly went in with somewhat low expectations. I mean, the demo was really fun, but I wasn't sure how well it would hold me, or if at some point I would just find the wackiness to be a bit too much. I'm happy to report that I did not, in fact, ever find it to be too much. If anything, I wanted more. It was such wholesome zaniness that really sold this game, and again, I cannot overstate this, the brilliant voice acting. It's short, it's concise, it's well made, and it's more than worth your time. If you like some witty writing and a fun little puzzle, this one is absolutely a perfect choice for a game to pick up that will take you no more than a cozy evening, ideally while it's raining. You should go pick it up. Look, I make it a point to incessantly talk about how I'm not a big fan of pixel art, but then I keep really loving pixel art games, so maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it's just when pixel art games have the perfect vibe and a spectacularly good color palette that I can look past my usual disdain and really embrace it. Magical Delicacy is a fun 2D side-scroller that blends platforming, some light puzzles, a cooking game, and a life sim into one game that is utterly charming. You play as a young witch who has moved to a city to learn more about being a witch. As far as I can gather, being a witch in this world basically means you're a magic chef, which, I mean, that works for me. Though you quickly end up stumbling sideways into a bit of a mystery involving an egg and some rival witches. The general gameplay loop is pretty easy to pick up, explore, take orders, cook, find ingredients, all while the story slowly unravels itself in front of you, and you learn and grow as a witch. There are some customization options for your home, some light gardening as well, so all the hallmarks of a typical low-stakes, comfy game are there, but they're bundled together in a really unique way that feels fresh. It's inviting and it's familiar, while still somehow feeling novel, if that makes any sense at all. If you like your cozy games with a side of intrigue, then this is one to grab for sure. I'm a big fan of The Sims 4. I play it pretty regularly. In particular, I enjoy the build mode, but like most fans of The Sims, I have what you might call a love-hate relationship with the game. It can be extremely buggy, and on top of that, it can be a bit overwhelming to try to find things that you like that go together. Now, obviously, I can't make a direct comparison between The Sims and Tiny Glade. What I can say is that this game gave me a lot of that same satisfaction of building my own unique creation with none of the stress or bugginess of The Sims. And that is surprising to say the least. You have, at least on the surface, really minimal options for controls, but yet somehow it led me to create a bunch of unique buildings that almost magically fit the thing I had in my head from the start. One of the most rewarding things about Tiny Glade was the slow unraveling of what's possible. They don't really tell you or show you what all you can do, so if you go in without much advanced knowledge like I did, then you will find yourself gradually learning new things that are possible. If you move a window to a certain spot, or draw a path in just the right way, or connect buildings, you will bit by bit learn that you have way more creative license than the game lets on at the start. It is such a rewarding way to experience what might seem like a bit of a bare bones game that you won't even mind the lack of guidance or objectives or anything like that. If you're ever looking for a game that feels like a long-needed exhale and a step back from the absolute wild ride that has been the world lately, this is 100% the game for you, and I cannot recommend it enough. There's a huge part of me that is like, this doesn't even really need an explanation, does it? Minami Lane is a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. But I guess, in case you aren't familiar, I should fill you in. Minami Lane is one part resource management, one part strategy game with a dash of puzzle and a heaping helping of charm. In fact, charming is probably the operative word when describing this game. You design bustling streets to attract and appease residents of various ages by providing them with the housing and amenities that they expect. Each amenity also has customization to it, not just in how it looks, but in what it offers. For example, you can build a ramen stand and change the ingredients to appeal to the tastes of different segments of your population. Or you might build a music store and have to choose if you sell music that will bring the young people in or make the elders happy. It's a game all about balancing things out and trying to make everyone as happy as possible. It plays out in turns that don't have timers or anything like that, so you can take your time in making your decisions, which helps this to never feel too chaotic or challenging. I was absolutely smitten with this game. It's one that I picked up on a whim after seeing a streamer play it for a few minutes. All I could think was, oh, that's perfect for the channel. I didn't necessarily know that I would personally fall deeply in love with it, or be here where I am quite happily saying that without a doubt, and by a wide margin, Minami Lane was my absolute favorite cozy game of 2024. So there you have it, my 5 favorite cozy games of 2024. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for being here this past year. It's been a bit hit or miss for me on the channel, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm excited to see where the channel goes in 2025. So until next time, take care. Bye.